Here are the 10 weirdest museums in the world, because nothing grabs more eyeballs than bizarre things found on the internet and also in the real world. Number 10. Torture Museum, Amsterdam, Netherlands. Europe has a history when it comes to giving the most painful punishments to criminals. Torture Museum in Amsterdam has been listed under the list of unusual museums because of the eerie instruments found in the place. It has an extensive range of torture devices in small, dark rooms: guillotine, thumbscrews, Iron Maiden, the flute of shame, skull crusher, Catherine wheels, Judas, and Scold's bridle are some of the objects placed inside the museum. Some of the devices are inside glass covers, while others can be touched. The low lighting and dramatic design of the place will give you a sense of gloom and suffering. Number 9. Museum of Bad Art, United States. Most of the displays at the Museum of Bad Art wouldn't make it to your mother's fridge, but here more than 600 pieces, which in other places might inspire polite nods and insincere compliments, have a place to shine. Located conveniently beside the toilets in an old basement in Dedham, Massachusetts, the museum accepts only art too bad to ignore. Row after row of misshapen flowers and brightly colored portraits reaffirm that, yes, your 5-year-old could probably do that. Number 8. The Dog Collar Museum, England. Medieval puppies would be rolling in their graves if they witnessed the stylish vests doggies are donning today. Nearly 500,000 pet lovers rejoice every year in this one-of-a-kind display of dog paraphernalia, surprisingly the only one of its kind found in Great Britain. Dogs have always been a presence at the manor at Leeds Castle, gracing the side of Lady Bailey, the last owner of the estate, whose love of dogs inspired the creation of the museum. The display of puppy attire with more than 100 unique items dates back centuries, documenting the history of canine accessories from medieval times. Number 7. Avanos Hair Museum, Turkey. Explore the world's largest collection of hair gathered from more than 16,000 women. Avanos, a tiny town in central Turkey, has been famous since antiquity for its remarkable earthenware pottery. In recent years, however, the town has gained fame for a more unusual sight: the caves of the Bizarre Hair Museum, created by potter Shea Gallop. The walls under his studio are covered with the world's largest collection of hair sourced from more than 16,000 women, along with their names and addresses. Locks of every length and color transform everything but the floor in a kind of hairy haven. Number 6. Iceland Phallological Museum, Iceland. Get your mind out of the gutter. The Iceland Phallological Museum is the premier institution to learn about the male sex organ, described on its website as probably the only museum in the world to contain a collection of phallic specimens. There's no pornography, but you can admire 276 penises, from the tiniest hamster member, 2 millimeters, to the colossal private parts of a sperm whale, 1.7 meters. The museum received its first human exhibit from a 95-year-old Icelandic man in 2011. Number 5. Salt and Pepper Shaker Museum, United States. You'll see match made in heaven salt and pepper shakers at the Salt and Pepper Shaker Museum. Andrea Ludden's obsession is with salt and pepper shakers. A trained anthropologist, she's writing a definitive study of the condiment dispensers, and displays her collection of more than 22,000 sets of salt and pepper shakers in a building specially arranged for their purpose. The museum recalls small-town Americana, with miniature McDonald's menu items, skeletons, penguins, space aliens, and endless variations on nearly every type of vegetable. You can even pick up your own pair at the gift shop, where many duplicates are for sale, allowing you to start your own collection. Number 4. It shouldn't be taken lightly when a museum is colloquially known as the Museum of Death, and indeed, this museum is not for the weak of spirit or stomach. On entry to the Suraraj Medical Museum, you're welcomed by the warm rictus grin of the museum founder's skeleton, a rather foreboding sign of the things to come. It's no slasher flick, but it feels like one: hemorrhaged brains, severed and mutilated legs and arms, lungs cut up by deep knife wounds and skulls punctured by bullets, demonstrating how bullets ricochet around inside your head. Pretty much the most gruesome ways to pass on to the next life are on display like a local art museum, and it proves a hit. The morbid exhibition of a hospital is reportedly the most popular attraction in the capital. Number 3, Clown Hall of Fame and Research Center, United States. Look out for the hand buzzer and seltzer bottle, but the Clown Museum is more than a barrel of laughs. The clowns who joked, and sometimes terrified, America are honored inside, with every one of the fascinating stories behind the inch-thick layer of makeup featured in the world's largest archive of clown artifacts. Number 2, Cancun Underwater Museum, Mexico. The Underwater Museum in Cancun, Mexico is a breathtaking and unbelievable sight. The pristine waters of Cancun showcase over 500 statues and sculptures underwater, all life-sized and fixed to the bed of the sea. This unique sight can be witnessed through glass boats, scuba diving, or snorkeling. The museum demonstrates the interaction between environmental science and art and also forms the biggest artificial reef in the world. Number 1, Beijing Tap Water Museum, China. This former pipe house in the center of Beijing has been converted into a museum dedicated to the ins and outs of tap water, including 130 real objects, models and artifacts such as vintage water coupons dating to the first tap water company in the capital, the Jingshu Tap Water Company. But don't be tempted to quench your thirst after all this. Beijing residents have long known that the water coming out of their taps is hardly safe to drink.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.